In 1991, Michael Jackson made the biggest gamble of his career. He walked away from Quincy Jones, the man who'd produced Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. Critics thought he was making a catastrophic mistake. Michael didn't care. He spent $10 million recording the album, then another $20 million on production and marketing. When Black or White was finished, he organized the biggest television event in music history. November 14th, 1991. 27 countries, 500 million people watching at the exact same moment. What they saw shocked them. Michael Jackson smashing cars with a crowbar, grabbing his crotch, dancing with a rage no one had seen before. Parents flooded television stations with complaints. By the next morning, Michael issued a public apology and cut the ending from the video. But Dangerous became the best-selling album of 1992 worldwide. 32 million copies sold. And it proved something Michael had been trying to tell the world for years. He didn't need Quincy Jones. After Bad was released in 1987, Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones never worked together again. Bad had sold 35 million copies worldwide. It was a massive commercial success by anyone's standards except one, Michael's, because Thriller had sold twice that number. And in Michael's mind, if Bad didn't match Thriller, something had gone wrong. During the Bad sessions, they fought constantly. Michael wanted Smooth Criminal on the album. Quincy didn't. Michael won that fight, but it cost him. According to people close to the production, Quincy felt Michael was becoming impossible to work with. And Michael felt Quincy was getting too much credit for his success. When journalists wrote about Thriller and Bad, they talked about Quincy's production genius. Michael started telling people that Quincy hadn't really done much in the studio, that he, Michael Jackson, was the reason for the success. The other issue was more painful. Michael thought Quincy was out of touch. By 1989, hip-hop was exploding. R&B was evolving into something called New Jack Swing, a fusion of hip-hop beats and R&B melodies that was dominating urban radio. And Quincy Jones, the 60-year-old jazz musician turned pop producer, didn't understand it. Michael did. And what was next wasn't Quincy Jones. In June of 1990, Michael Jackson met Teddy Riley. Riley was 23 years old. He produced hits for Bobby Brown, Keith Sweat, and Guy. He'd essentially invented New Jack Swing, the sound that was taking over black radio. And when Michael called him, Riley thought it was a prank. Michael told Riley exactly what he wanted: a completely fresh sound. He wanted edge. He wanted aggression. He wanted the album to reflect where music was going, not where it had been. Riley brought programmed drums, industrial sounds, harder beats, digital production techniques that Quincy would never have used. Michael brought his songwriting, his vocal arrangements, his obsessive attention to detail. The opening track, Jam, featured a sample of the notorious B.I.G. and Heavy D rapping over a grinding mechanical beat. Why You Wanna Trip on Me had angry lyrics attacking tabloid media. Remember the Time blended New Jack Swing with Egyptian instrumentation for a sound that felt ancient and futuristic at the same time. Michael was co-producing everything, controlling every decision, proving he could do this without Quincy Jones. Recording sessions at Westlake Studios in Los Angeles lasted up to 18 hours. Bruce Sweetein remembered one night when Michael refused to leave until he'd sung Keep the Faith all the way through in one take. For the final 2 months of production, Michael and Sweetein rented hotel rooms 4 minutes from the studio so they could get back to work faster. On Halloween night, October 31st, 1991, engineer Bernie Grundman finished mastering Dangerous at 4 a.m. The album was done. Michael Jackson didn't just want to release a music video. He wanted to create a global event. Black or White was chosen as the lead single. Michael hired John Landis, the director who'd made Thriller, to create an 11-minute short film with a $4 million budget. The video featured Macaulay Culkin, George Wendt from Cheers, and Slash from Guns N' Roses. The morphing sequence used cutting-edge computer technology that had only recently been seen in Terminator 2. Michael negotiated with MTV, BET, VH1, and Fox to premiere the video simultaneously on November 14, 1991 at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then his team coordinated with broadcasters in 26 other countries to air it at the exact same moment worldwide. 500 million people tuned in. It was a Guinness World Record. Fox scheduled the premiere right after The Simpsons. Bart and Homer appeared in a brief intro, with Bart literally blasting his father through the roof of their house and into Michael Jackson's music video. The first 7 minutes were exactly what audiences expected. Michael dancing with people of all races. The morphing sequence showing faces blending into each other. It was uplifting, positive, a message of unity. Then came the ending nobody expected. The music stopped. A Black Panther morphed into Michael Jackson. And for the next 4 minutes, with no music playing, Michael danced alone in a dark alley with a violence and rage that stunned viewers. He smashed car windows with a crowbar. He threw trash cans. He grabbed his crotch, extended aggressive movements. He simulated masturbation. He unzipped his pants in close-up. Nobody understood it in the moment. What they saw was the biggest star in the world doing sexually explicit movements on primetime television. Fox's phone line started ringing immediately. Parents who'd been watching with their kids were furious. The Memphis Fox affiliate received over 100 complaints and announced they would never air the video again. Michael Jackson woke up on November 15th to a firestorm. Fox contacted Michael directly. He offered to cut the entire ending. His representatives issued a public statement. "It upsets me to think that black or white could influence any child or adult to destructive behavior, either sexual or violent. I've made these changes to avoid any possibility of adversely affecting any individual's behavior." Michael edited the video, cutting the 4-minute Panther sequence. In later versions, he added racist graffiti to the car windows and storefronts to make it clear the violence was a statement against hatred. Some critics accused Michael of engineering the entire controversy as a publicity stunt. New York Times music critic John Perellis wrote that having something banned would do wonders for Michael's clean image. It could make him seem, as the album title promised, dangerous. But regardless of intent, the result was undeniable. When Dangerous dropped in stores on November 26, 1991, it debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, selling 326,000 copies in its first week. By the second week, sales had jumped to 378,000. The controversy had turned into the best marketing campaign money couldn't buy. Dangerous stayed at #1 for 4 consecutive weeks. It reached #1 in 14 countries and became the best-selling album worldwide of 1992. 9 singles were released. 4 of them reached the top 10. Black or White hit #1 and stayed there for 7 weeks. The album sold 32 million copies worldwide. In the United States alone, it was certified 8 times platinum. It was Michael Jackson's 3rd consecutive album to become the best-selling album in the world for its year. And he'd done it all without Quincy Jones. The Dangerous World Tour launched in February of 1992. 69 concerts across multiple continents. Nearly 4 million people attended. The tour grossed $100 million, all of which Michael donated to his Heal the World Foundation. During the tour, Michael performed at the halftime show of Super Bowl 27 on January 31st, 1993. 133 million people watched. Before Michael Jackson, halftime shows were forgettable filler. After Michael Jackson, the Super Bowl halftime show became an event unto itself. Days later, Oprah Winfrey interviewed Michael from Neverland Ranch. It became the most watched interview in American television history. 90 million viewers. Michael talked about his vitiligo, his relationship with his father, his creative process. It happened because Dangerous had made him culturally unavoidable again. Critics who'd predicted Michael would fail without Quincy had to eat their words. Dangerous won a Grammy for Best Engineered Album, and more importantly, it influenced a generation of artists. it gets dismissed as a lesser work. That's not fair to the album or to Michael's legacy. If you want to hear more untold stories about the legends who changed music history, subscribe to King of Pop and hit that like button. Stay tuned for more content.